Welcome to Keeping Up with the Cardassians, your source for all Brie Larson news from the Marvels to
whatever
The Room
else she was in.
to
Community.
Yeah.
Brie Larson was in Community?
Yeah.
When?
She was an Abed love interest.
She was. Troy and Abed in the morning. This is Nick.
This is Rob.
This is Joe.
And welcome. But for real, Brie Larson, though. No, I'm kidding. So, welcome to Keeping Up with Cardassians, your source for pop culture news, conversation,
Other things.
boring stuff, fun stuff, in between, and all of that. This is...
You already did
We
that.
already did that.
You already did that.
I'm having one of those days. It's been a long day. Anyways, today we are reviewing... we are into Season 3 of Battlestar Galactica. We have Season 3, Episodes 1 and 2. Episode 1 is Occupation. Episode 2 is Precipice.
We are over the hill now.
We are over the hill. We're in we're over the halfway mark for the show. So we're going to review those in the second half of the show, which is generally, we've been good about this lately, about 35 minutes in.
Yeah.
So with that said, though, there is stuff we want to talk about. First of all, Brie Larson. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I went to the movies last night.
Did
you
you?
wear this nice suit to the movies?
Dude,
it's
I've been
nice to see
busy.
someone taking this podcast seriously.
I know.
I've been going since this morning. I had a funeral today.
Is there a dress code here now?
I think Nick has worn a tie on this episode, on this podcast
Couple
more
times.
times in the last month or two than I think the both of us have combined.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think I've ever worn a tie.
I don't think I have either.
I don't think you. Maybe once.
I've seen him with a
during our
tie.
interviews. I think you've worn a shirt with buttons. But I was going to say, other than that, I don't think you wear a shirt.
You're lucky if I wear a shirt.
I mean, we have to. I mean, Nick begs you. I beg you to not to. But
That's true. That's true.
That's why I was so happy about Top Pods. I could represent my real self.
I could let it all hang out.
Yep, and
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a funeral this morning at 10 a.m. was the funeral, and then there was a luncheon afterwards, which my wife and I basically put up this luncheon for this family at the church.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, the burial was in Battle Creek.
Dang.
So I had to leave from my house at 1 o'clock to go to the burial, and then came right here.
logistics question. Why
Yep.
didn't they do it all kind of in the same area?
Same area, because so he was born and raised in Battle Creek, and his family is in that cemetery there, but he lived here in this area, and my church was his home church, so that's why.
You can't. They don't. I'm genuinely asking. You
Yeah.
can't do like a traveling thing. Like you couldn't.
I could have, but
you
they
couldn't.
didn't want to, because a
Okay.
lot of the family lives in this area. So
They couldn't travel.
yeah, well, whatever,
They're living. I mean, they made it.
whatever. So anyway,
I'm just saying it's kind of. It seems like kind of a pain in the ass for
it was a
kind of for everybody to like.
Yeah, they have some family that lives on the west side of the state, though, so they were just going to go home after that anyway. I don't know. It was
I don't know.
whatever. I don't question. I just do what, the family's going through grieving, and we had a really rough experience with a pastor years ago with the passing of Leslie's mom, which has made me basically be like, whatever the family needs, I will do whatever they need. So
Rest in peace, random person.
yes, rest in peace. But yes, I went to the movies last night, and I saw Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3.
And?
And here's what I'll say. Marvel finally knows how to end a movie without it just being a setup for a next movie. Like, it really
Okay.
felt like the conclusion, which was I was really happy with it. I enjoyed it.
For-
Soundtrack was amazing because it was set in the 90s.
This franchise really has kind of set the bar for soundtracks in modern movies, I think.
I'm going to try to pull up the Volume 3 soundtrack. But the very first song when the movie starts, because it's set in the 90s.
Space Hog?
No, it's Creep by Radiohead. And it's Rocket singing Creep, like walking around singing the song, which was incredible. Sign
I
me
know
up
that
for
Space Hog, In the Meantime by Space Hog is in
Yeah,
that movie.
yeah, I'm trying to think of what else.
How long was it?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. It did feel long.
My guess is 3:15.
Yeah.
150.
150?
Well, that's it.
150. It felt longer
Respect.
than that. I gotta
That's
be
what-
honest.
I got respect for that.
Yeah, for
150 is
sure.
a good time.
It did feel longer than that, though. It felt a little bit long, but it was. I I dug it, man. I had a really good time with it. I thought it was a really great ending for it, the trilogy of it. You could tell they wanted it to end. It was James Gunn's last Marvel work before he left for DC, and I think they knocked it out of the park. So here's the soundtrack. Creep is on there. Crazy on You by Heart. Since You've Been Gone by Rainbow. In the Meantime, Space Hog. Reasons by Earth, Wind and Fire. Do You Realize by the Flaming Lips.
Great song.
We Care a Lot by Faith No More. I'm Always Chasing Rainbows, Alice Cooper. San Francisco, the Mowgli's. I don't know who that is. Anyways, This Is a Day by The. No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Beastie Boys. Dog Days Are Over, Florence and the Machine.
Great song.
Badlands by Bruce Springsteen.
Great song.
I Will Dare, The Replacements. And then there was Come and Get Your Love in there by Redbone again.
Of course. Gotta play the hits.
That was the very end of the movie. Yeah,
I bet you can count on one hand the number of Marvel movies clocking in under 2 hours.
That's a great Marvel movies.
My guess would probably just be those first
under
Captain America, Thor.
Yeah.
I think that's probably it.
2 hours.
Maybe Iron Man 2.
Yeah. But I bet you it's not many.
The 10 shortest in the MCU ranked. I'm going to just start. The shortest movie of all time in the Marvel Universe is The Incredible Hulk. Then Thor the Dark World.
Oh.
Then Thor. Then Doctor Strange. Then Ant-Man. Then Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then
Are we still under 2 hours now?
Yes, we are.
Wow.
We're Thor Love and Thunder, we're at an hour and 59 minutes.
Oh.
So everything else after that is over 2 hours.
And how many is that?
That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
All right.
Not bad.
No.
Not bad.
Yeah. It's more than I thought. I thought there'd be a lot more of the earlier films that were
Yeah,
little,
I thought. Yeah.
a little on the
I thought
shorter.
Captain America would be shorter than that.
I felt like Captain America was actually a long movie.
Really?
Let me look it up.
I don't know.
I didn't think it was long enough.
Well, it's funny because some of them
That's what
don't
she
feel
said.
like very long because they're good films. They're good movies.
2 hours, 4 minutes.
Wow.
I think 2 hours is really the sweet spot for a film.
2 hours? That's a really long time.
No, I'd say like
2 minutes.
No,
that's the
that's
sweet
a-
spot. That's the sweet spot.
I don't know.
That's where the magic happens.
And that's first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You're like a trailer,
Yeah, I am.
a
I'm
teaser. You're a teaser.
That's all I do. That's all I do. And then they go, "There's got to be more to it than this." And I said, "Sorry,
No, I put all the good
this
material
is
in the
it.
teaser.
This is it. You got the good jokes. You got
It's
the
like
good."
when they do that, when they put all the good stuff in the teaser, you're like, I really want to see this movie. You go to see the movie, you're like, yeah, the teaser was enough.
Yeah.
That was more than enough.
Or I'm like those movies where I put all the good stuff in the trailer so that when you go to the actual movie, none of those scenes are actually in it, and you're like, where was like in the Rogue One they did that?
Oh,
Like,
we edited all that out.
yeah, we
edited
didn't
that
use
out in
any of
post.
that footage. That was crap. I'm like, no, I wanted that footage. Anyways, I think it was pretty good. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Which is better than part 2, which it was like a 6 to me.
I wasn't a big fan of part 2.
Yeah.
The first one was like a 9 to me. The first one was a great film.
First one is it's a classic in this era, this comic book movie era.
It's a classic. It feels like a really good Star Wars movie too, honestly, like with space and everything, the way they go about it. It's not Star Trek because it's not as sci-fi heavy, but it's science fantasy for sure. But I liked it. The one thing that I really enjoyed about it was the trailers beforehand, because I saw a new trailer for Oppenheimer that I hadn't seen yet.
Oh.
And it looked incredible. And even my son was sitting next to me. He's like, "Dad, we got to go see that. We got to go see that." Like he wants to see
That movie
it now.
looks amazing.
I know. And it's like a history biopic. It's not going to be like
It's not gonna be like Batman or Tenet.
But it looks like it's filmed well.
Yeah.
The story beats look good.
Well, I'm
really excited about it.
you have a respectable filmmaker.
Yeah, that helps.
I mean, I don't know. It looks awesome. Everything I've seen hasn't disappointed.
Nolan can shoot a movie, that's for sure.
yes, he can.
Now, did you see any trailers for the new Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom?
No, that just came out though yesterday,
it just came
right?
out on this past Friday. It came
My
out.
son's
and
trying to harass me into getting it.
So is my son.
Yeah.
Did you play? Did you play Breath of the Wild?
They did. My wife and my son did a lot, and they loved it. I'm not really digging the news. I don't like it that much.
What
Really?
part of it?
I didn't like the durability of the weapons. It just didn't do it for me. The weapons breaking down, and you constantly having to replace them.
Oh, you don't like it based in somewhat reality?
Yeah, that takes me right out of. Yeah. Okay, somewhat reality. This is freaking what? Zelda?
Zelda is real, Nick.
Yeah. The events happen in real time. No, hard pass.
Yeah, I never played Breath of the Wild, but my son's trying to get me to play the new one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I got home yesterday, and my son is like, "Dad, did you hear the new Zelda came out?" And I said, "No. Look at this trailer for it." And he's like, "I think I'm gonna play the Switch and play the old one." And then he's sitting there. He's like, "Wow, it's $70. That's a lot of money." And so, anyway,
look at him. I like this approach.
He was trying real hard. But I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's the more you hear about it, you're like, all right, well, so you hear $70, you're like, that's a lot for a video game. Then you hear it 3 or 4 more times, you're like,
it's not
Wear
actually
you
that
down.
bad
Yeah.
considering the amount of use they'll get out of it. You know,
I mean,
which really there is. I mean, $70. Let's say you put 60 hours into that. I spend $70 when I go to the movies now.
I mean, dollars per entertainment hour. I think you're off the charts.
You can't beat it. You can't beat it.
But I heard that there was a trailer for that game in select showings of that film.
Really?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, there was no trailer
Like
for
a specific one just for theaters.
I'm trying to think of some of the other trailers. There was nothing that really truly stood out.
Any new Barbie trailers?
No, there was no new Barbie trailers. That's okay. I already got my tickets for day one of that one. I am going to see that one though.
I'm in.
There's gonna be a bunch of middle-aged men in there. It's gonna be so creepy.
There was a trailer for a movie called Gran Turismo, which is a PlayStation movie based on a real true story about how they used players of Gran Turismo and they like auditioned them to be racers in actual race because they were so good at Gran Turismo.
Like a documentary, or is it a
No, it's inspired by a true story in the video game series of the same name.
Do either of you guys ever play that series?
No, because it's too realistic. It's too
A
hard.
long time ago.
It's too hard. I don't want to adjust my shocks and to get better drag.
Oh, I don't have my notebook. Nick hates realism.
I do.
It's realism in video games.
There's one reason you should bring that book. That's the reason.
I know.
It's done by Neil Blomkamp though, which he did. Not Section whatever. What
Section
was
9?
Yeah, was that the movie
Or
with
District 9?
District 9. There you go.
District 9 was great.
And Elysium, and I didn't like Elysium as much, but District 9 was incredible. It was one of the best sci-fi movies I've ever seen.
It was.
But it's done by him. It's got a dude from Stranger Things. I'm really blanking on names today. I'm having a rough day.
You're killing it. No, you're killing it today.
I'm trying really hard. Orlando Bloom is in there. What is his name? The guy, the cop from Stranger Things. He was in Hellboy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
David Harbour.
David Harbour. There it is. I found out another bingo square. Whenever Joe says nailed it.
Oh yeah, I do.
You do say nailed it a lot because I'm always mispronouncing words or something.
It's almost like a 2-for-1.
Yeah, it is. It is. So.
Anytime anybody attempts a name that's just a little, you're going out on a limb, I'd like to give you guys credit for the attempt.
Well, I mean, the actor of this is Archie Madekwe.
Perfect. Nailed it. Got it. Home run.
The aspiring teenage driver given the opportunity of a lifetime. Because he's obsessed.
Teenage driver?
Yeah, because he's obsessed with Gran Turismo.
As a father of one of those, No, don't make a movie about my son.
Can you imagine, like, they're so good at Gran Turismo, and they're like, I could race against professionals.
I should make Elijah play Gran Turismo. See how he can do.
They years ago
get an A-class license, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, right.
Years ago when Rock Band was a big deal, they had the professional Rock Band drum set, that almost looked like a real one. Someone had gotten so good at the game on
The Neil Peart expansion pack.
that the Mars Volta invited him up on stage to play one of their songs from the game on it, and he nailed it. He did it like perfectly. Yes, yeah, he killed it.
Wow.
But he wasn't an
I want to
actual
see
drummer.
actual rock bands play their music.
They're
on
so
Rock
bad
Band.
at it. I've seen that where they've done that. Can you imagine like Paul McCartney going on there trying to play the Beatles Rock Band? Ooh, that's my Beatles.
And
that's
play
my
with all the other Beatles.
Oh,
Too soon.
Wah, wah, wah. And Ringo's like, "I'll play with you, John." And he's like, "Get out, you suck," because Ringo sucks.
Okay,
Actually,
I believe you.
Ringo doesn't suck.
No, he doesn't. He's actually a really solid drummer.
He's
honestly.
actually a really good drummer. He's not flashy like Neil Peart or John Bonham or any of the other like top tier Lars Ulrich from Metallica. He's not.
Lars. Don't put Lars in there.
Lars is an
Lars
underrated
can't
drummer.
keep a beat.
Lars is an underrated
Lars
drummer.
can't keep a beat. He sucks.
Wow.
I don't think he sucks.
He
Wow.
sucks.
Okay. I think Nick hates Metallica.
Yep.
No, I don't hate Metallica. I
Nick
hate
hates
Lars. I do hate Lars. Lars. Oh, I
Right,
hate Lars.
realism in video games and Lars Ulrich.
But yes,
All that to be said,
Ringo is a good drummer.
A good drummer.
Yes,
Very
he
good
is.
drummer.
I just given him a hard time because he was with three otherworldly talents.
Yeah. It just sucks when you are the Ringo Starr of your
And you're still
four-person
good.
band.
Yeah. You're like, hey, wait, it'd be like the equivalent of being on the Bulls, right? Like
Right.
you have Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and you're Steve Kerr. You're like a really good basketball
Right.
player, but everyone's like pays no attention to you. You're like, you suck. And it's like, no, I just
He's basically the Horace Grant of the like
there
early
you go.
Bulls.
Horace Grant. I was gonna say Luke Longley.
or Tony Kukoc.
Tony Kukoc.
Horace Grant of the first run and
Yeah.
Tony Kukoc of the second.
Tony Kukoc. Oh, I love
All
it.
very good players.
Yeah.
But just get overshadowed on some of the greatest basketball teams ever.
Absolutely. Gosh, nice reference. Sports. Yay!
Actually, that's an interesting reference that you pull because in these episodes there's a scene and kind of a general idea of the episode or like a theme in the episode that reminds me of a Pearl Jam song that was featured in a Bulls documentary.
Well, we're going to get to that. That'll be fun. We get to talk about Pearl Jam. Yay.
The greatest American rock and roll band of all time.
No. No.
All right. I mean, you guys can be wrong. I said American. Everybody you're thinking of is not American.
Were you there when I put up that unpopular opinion about a certain band being better than Pearl Jam? Certain band's song being better than all of Pearl Jam?
What song was it? I saw it, but I don't remember.
I can't even remember now, but I heard it on the radio.
I think I commented like this is...
It was the Blues Travelers. It was
The
Hook.
Yeah.
Which is a great song.
Yeah. I think I said something along the lines of in a sea of bad takes. This is
the worst.
This is the worst I've ever heard.
Yes, it was something like that. Anyways, go see
go home, Nick. You're drunk.
Go see Guardians of the Galaxy. My story's over. You like how
that's what we were talking about.
I brought it all back around. Rob, what do you got for news?
Superman.
Ba.
Speaking of James Gunn, there is Superman news. There's rumors, I should say. Rumors. They have people leading for possible castings.
So who are their rumored castings so far?
The front line. Shoot, my computer timed out. For Superman is David Cornsweet.
Based on that picture right there, I'm good. Yep.
He's a good-looking man. He looks like Superman. And is he American or is he British? No, he's American.
Hell yeah.
No, that works against him.
Why?
It doesn't really. But he graduated from Juilliard.
Oh, nerd.
He was in House of Cards. He then was in the Netflix series The Politician.
He also moonlights as a Henry Cavill clone.
He kind of does. So good for him.
And who was it for Lex Luthor?
It was far fart sounds.
That guy.
I just had it. Literally.
Holt is his last name.
Nick Holt. Notably, the article reveals that Nick Holt is all but set to play Lex Luthor, who has been a favorite of WB ever since Mad Max Fury Road.
Nick.
He was also a front runner to star in the Batman originally, which I remember that. He was a runner up for the Batman.
I could see him.
And apparently he has
shave his head.
Yeah, that's what they said. He looks great with a shaved head. Which in Fury Road he had a shaved head. Did you ever see Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah.
I thought that was a great movie.
It was great.
It's a great action movie. Not one you're going to watch over and over again, but like
No.
yeah. The article also went on, or this article that reveals the Superman. It was a THR article. They said that Marvelous Mrs. Maisel star Rachel Brosnahan delivered an outstanding reading for Lois Lane, and she's a finalist. But it goes on to say, the article went on to say that at 32, she might be a little too old to play Lois Lane.
Oh, good.
Oh, my gosh. Wait again. How old is David Cornsweet?
29.
Gosh, you got to be kidding me. What is wrong with people?
And Lois Lane's older than Superman in the comic books.
Yes, she always has been, right? Like 5 or 6 years older than him.
Yeah, there's a few people they talked about for Lois Lane, which are Emma Mackey,
Yeah.
Rachel Brosnahan,
Yeah.
Phoebe Dynevor,
Uh-huh.
and Samara Weaving.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I would love.
I don't know any of those by name.
Either do I.
Rachel Brosnahan is in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. She's the lead character. The quirky comedian.
Yeah.
She was also in House of Cards, as well. And I think she would be great for it.
Is that Emma Mackey?
This Emmy Mackey's like kind of a.
She was in Sex Education.
Sure.
And she's incredible in it.
She kind of looks like Margot Robbie.
Yes, she does. She looks like she very much is a clone of Margot Robbie.
Are they just casting people that look like other people?
Yeah, maybe. But
I mean, because the guy looks just like Henry Cavill. She looks just like Margot Robbie.
Mm-hmm. I would be happy with those castings. You looking up Phoebe Danver?
Yeah, I'm just going through the list real quick.
Phoebe Danver was in Bridgerton. She's the one I could least see as a.
I think it goes without saying I've seen none of these shows.
Yeah, I just finished season 2 of Bridgerton the other day with my wife. Finally,
How'd that go?
I enjoy it. I like Bridgerton. I have a good time. Yeah.
What isn't there a lot of?
The first season there was, not the second season. There's like none in the second season.
Really?
No, it's kind of a letdown. Kind of a letdown. I mean, that's
you get it. It gets you all amped up for season 2, because usually when a show is like successful in season 1, they're like, okay, what worked in this season, what didn't work?
Yeah.
They double down on what worked, and they.
I mean, that was Game of Thrones season 1. What worked? People responded when we had nudity. Season 2 was like there was nude people on the screen the whole time in season 2. And then it slowly phased out after that.
One of these other actresses looks just like Margot Robbie too, or similar.
Who's that?
This is Samara Weaving.
That's Margot Robbie.
It's not though. No, yeah.
But that's Margot Robbie.
Hey, wouldn't it surprise you to know that Hollywood likes all blonde-haired, blue-eyed actresses that are skinny with chiseled cheeks?
That's weird.
Because they do all look the same though.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Which is kind of like disturbing that we're constantly casting the same exact look for a movie all the time.
Unless that's what you're going for. Like, unless you're like, we want a person that looks like this for this role, then I mean, if that's what you're doing, then why would you open it up to someone? If you're looking to cast a specific look,
yeah,
you aren't. There's no Rooney rule.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
You can
So
do what you want.
There's no rule that says you have to interview somebody who's outside the scope of what you want just because.
For sure.
This is true.
But it is creepy that they all look like Margot Robbie.
Like the same,
It's,
yeah.
I mean,
very similar.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
It's like the
Speaking of
McDonald's,
movies.
Burger King, and Wendy's of Margot Robbie's.
Oh no, they're not all alike. Wendy's hands down above those 3.
No.
those square burger patties, they must do something to those things because they're amazing.
No.
If you eat a perfectly cooked Wendy's burger, it will top McDonald's or Burger King any day.
Flame broiled burgers.
No, false.
McDonald's has the whole package. Burger King has the burgers on their own.
McDonald's has
Nothing
the fries.
else tastes like Burger King burgers, though.
Yeah.
No, it's unique. It's its own
And you
world.
drive by and you smell it, and you're like, oh, that smells good.
It does smell good. Until you see them put it in a microwave to heat it up after they flame broiled it.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, they do. When I was at the movie, sorry, that was me. When I was at the movies, though, I forgot to mention that they showed a trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and it was a new trailer for it. And it actually got me hyped for it.
Okay.
I'm totally on board for going to see Indiana Jones now. Because the Crystal Skull made me want to throw up.
Yeah, not good.
And
Was not good.
there's a lot of de-aged Harrison Ford in this one. I didn't realize
That's what I've heard.
how much de-aged Harrison Ford they're doing. Like 20 minutes, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
That was expensive.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, have you guys seen what AI is doing?
Yeah,
It's insane.
Yeah, they don't even need people now. Yeah.
It's going to be very soon here where they're just going to be able to cast like decades-old actors
Yeah.
for movies.
Well, Marvel started it, right? And Disney did it too with Luke Skywalker as well.
But I mean, it's coming. It's happening so quickly right now. The advancements
like
in AI.
it.
I don't like it either.
I'm,
But it's
Skynet, baby.
that's honestly like there's a part of me who's like we're
vintage,
we're
man.
going
We are
down-
obsolete.
Yeah, we're going down a dangerous path. Not that the computers
Cylons are
will end
coming.
up taking over,
Cylons are coming.
Yeah, they are.
but that what is the point of any human creativity now? Then when you have AI do everything. They can write reviews. It can.
There's no
paint
such thing as
pictures.
human creativity because human quote unquote creativity is just it's basically AI driven. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I want to do no, AI is telling you this is what you should be creating. So they just have waves and waves and waves of human creating the same thing, but it's all AI driven. It's all driven by a logarithm.
Analytics. Baseball.
This
And,
is
and what
scary.
what happened to the game as soon as analytics took over?
It's not
It
as fun.
It
sucks.
sterilized the
Yeah.
game.
It's
not
boring. Too many strikeouts. Too many home runs. No
Finesse.
finesse.
But that's
no
the thing
speed
is like
runners.
what do we love about pitching? We love dominant pitching, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do we love about hitters? We love dominant hitters, right? We have those two and nothing else.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
in between.
There's no in between. You have hitters that can destroy the ball, and you have pitchers that can pitch lights out.
It sounds like
that's it.
comic book movies right now. You either have the dominant characters or
It's everything. We're losing.
all or nothing.
So
you know, it's
we're losing
movies. It's
nuance.
movies in general, and it's TV in general.
We're
You've
losing
lost
nuance
some-
all across the board.
we can't handle mediocre content or not handle. I don't know what the word for it is. There's no room for things
either
that
great or-
aren't going to make millions of dollars.
Right.
Great or it sucks.
Yeah, exactly. It's a problem.
Thanks AI. Thanks Obama.
Thanks, Obama. I need to get that as a drop.
You
Thanks,
do.
Obama. Oh, that's depressing. So, anyways,
So let's review a show about AI.
Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
So Superman. That's our Superman news. I love how anytime we have a topic, it goes completely off the rails in a different direction. Like
Those are our topics.
Guardians of the Galaxy ended up in this dark place. I can't even remember where we were at. Superman conversation ended up talking about Burger King or Wendy's and AI. There's no sense to what we're talking about.
None at all.
This is a poorly run show.
It's
we
terrible.
We need to talk to the producer about this.
Yes.
I'd say talk to whoever looks like they're in charge.
Yeah, it's not me.
I am wearing a tie.
Yeah,
Right.
he is wearing a tie.
That's true.
We know who management is.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
No?
I want to speak to the manager of this podcast.
You want to speak to the manager of this podcast?
All right, Karen.
Well, if this is true, if we're moving on to Battlestar Galactica, gentlemen, we did it yet again. We're right now at about the 30-minute mark.
As he kills time, it's going to take 5 more minutes
Just,
to get to it.
No, I'm killing time so we can get to 30 seconds. And right now,
30
minutes.
seconds, his specialty.
hey, that is not far from the truth. That's really depressing, honestly. I really need help. With all that.
Hymns.
Oh.
Do you have a live read to do for hymns?
Hymns, if you like to sponsor us.
Battlestar Galactica occupation. We're into a 30-minute mark. Here we go. So we're in the season 3 opener of Battlestar Galactica, and we are now 4 months have passed since the end of the season 2 finale. So now they've been on New Caprica for 16 months total. Is where they've been on New Caprica. Okay, 4 months of it with Cylon occupation. And the Cylons have basically taken over. And as they've taken over, Adama is continuing to work on a plan to free those trapped. And Lee is like, bro, they gone. We need to leave. And Adama's like, you soft, bro. Get out of my sight.
You fat fuck.
And then,
Get your
and
fat
then
ass
Lee
out
goes,
of my office.
That was the best line.
Damn.
That was the best line.
Yeah. And then Lee goes to talk to his wife and is like, am I soft? And she's like, yeah, you are, and I'm not just talking about your weight. Like she brings it up too. On New Caprica, Starbuck is in this elaborate prison cell by Leoben, who's basically trying to force her to fall in love with him. And Starbuck continuously kills him over and over again, and then he just keeps walking back in the room. Saul Ty has been tortured and abused, and now he's missing his right eye, and he's only getting out because Ellen Ty does what she's good at doing best to get him out of there with Brother Cavill. So Ty goes back to Anders and Tyrell, and they've been forming the resistance against the Cylons, and they are now escalating their efforts by planning suicide bombing against the Cylons and any human collaborators. They're continuing to get unidentified information about the Cylon command structure from a secret source within the government, but they don't know who. And they finally get a piece of information that allows them to make contact with the Battlestar Galactica, in which they're finally able to get in contact with them and start planning a rescue mission. As they're doing all of this, the Resistance plans to kill Gaius Baltar. They want him dead.
Hell yeah.
They want him dead as quick as possible.
Ditto.
And he's originally supposed to go to a graduation ceremony, but he backs out of it. And then you got Duck, who has access to the ceremony. His wife was killed by the Cylons. He agrees to be their suicide bomber. And towards the end of the episode, it's revealed that Felix is the aide giving the information. He learns that Baltar will not be attending the ceremony, but he can't alert them in enough time. But Duck releases his bomb and kills every single person in the room. Episode end. So there you go.
They gone.
We into New Caprica now, and things aren't pretty there.
Things are great.
Things are going well, swell. Those Cylons just know how to make people feel loved.
You know it's rough when Adama has a mustache and a mullet.
Yeah. Oh gosh, the mustache looks good on him.
No, it does not.
The mullet.
No, it doesn't.
I like the whole look. Good. Good for him.
He's
good for him.
You know what? He's
what?
focused on saving the people. He doesn't have time.
He's still the best looking Adama.
Yeah, he is, because Lee looks bad.
I love that he called him a
Get your fat ass out of my office or something like that.
Couldn't say that on TV now.
Oh my gosh! Well, on you could. Oh yeah.
No, you wouldn't be able to.
I get what you're saying from the perspective of
not a chance.
You can to a man. You could not to a woman.
I don't know.
Yes, you could.
Really?
You can call a man fat on TV. You couldn't call a woman fat on TV. I think.
Look at this. Look at this double standard.
I think
he comes home and his wife fat shames him. Body shames his ass.
She does. Because
Lee's
Lee's still looking fine. She's putting in the work for him. He ain't putting in the work for her. They're married, and he just said, "Nope, done. Give me those ho-hos."
Where's they getting the food from? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. He was eating like donut holes or something.
Yeah, he was eating all kinds of crap. And he's probably not exercising anymore, so he's just,
Did he actually put on weight for this?
No, that's a fat suit.
That's a fat suit.
He wasn't like Rob McElhenney in whatever season of It's Always Sunny.
No,
Fat Mac.
No. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No,
he actually gained like 50 pounds.
I can't believe that. I would not have that much dedication.
So he gained it, and then he just burned, got it off and got super ripped.
See, I could not do that. I would not be able to do that. I mean, as you can
Respect.
tell,
I think you're in your bulking phase.
Yeah,
I think you're setting up for a really nice.
I am.
A really nice cut.
Look, Lee Adama gives me hope that I can someday command a Battlestar. Just like Paul Rudd gives Joe hope that
Hell
he's
yeah.
an attractive human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? Lee is my inspiration. Paul Rudd's his inspiration.
You know what? Draw it from wherever you need.
Yeah, thank you. So we got Fat Lee. And Fat Lee.
What's Ty's wife?
Ellen.
Ellen. Does she have an STD
I was trying to figure that out because she
or
has
The lip
STI?
thing? Yeah.
STI.
What is... That's a callback,
Yeah.
ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen. What is that? I was
I'm
trying to
guessing
figure
it's
that.
AIDS or something. Like it's.
AIDS.
I was thinking it's
AIDS.
maybe like the healthcare is
AIDS.
bad there, so there's.
But she's got something, right? I mean, we all saw it, right?
and I feel like it's highly intentional. They want you to see it.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I don't
know.
believe they mentioned it in either
They
episode.
don't. I don't think they ever mentioned.
No, they didn't mention it.
At all.
No,
In the show.
In the show, they never mention it. But my assumption
This
is
is a spoiler. I will allow.
no, they never mention it.
So then, is this just like?
I think it's to
Is it-
show
is
the
it ju-
state of the people. Like they're falling apart. They're ragged. They're sick.
Okay.
I think.
Because I was like, I mean, she's having sex with all. She'll have sex with whoever.
A means to an end.
It means and it's
But
based.
for a good reason?
I don't know, good enough
To get Ty
reason?
out?
Yeah, I mean, got to do what you got to do.
You got to get a guy off to get a guy out.
Hey,
Okay.
I like that.
That could be a tagline.
I looked it up online, and it's like, any idea what's up with her lip? Is it a scar? Is it herpes? Some new Capricorn rash? And they said that was either a cold sore from the harsh cold wind conditions or the result of an STD. So
Yeah, they said STD, but they hold on. The harsh wind conditions. It looks like she's spending a lot of time indoors.
yes, she is on
So-
something. She's in something. Well,
No, she's not in something. She's on something.
she's on something. Yeah, she making it happen. She's going to Pound Town in a different way.
I gotta say, I like Ty with a beard, with a little scruff.
I really like
He's a bit
Ty.
He's
these
a bit
last-
worse. He's a bit worse for wear, but I like the beard.
I like this Ty. Like he's got a purpose and he knows what his goal is.
I didn't know he smoked either.
I mean,
I don't think he did before he got locked up.
I
don't think we ever saw it.
I don't. We just saw him as a drunk. Which even
A
now,
new
when
vice.
he's drinking, he doesn't
Yeah.
feel like a drunk now. Like he's got.
He
a
looks like
focus.
one though, all
he
the time.
looks
though.
like one, but the dude lost his eye. I love how
Yeah.
like he walks in the room just in case you're wondering,
He's Martok.
it's gone. And what does he say? It looked like
A dried up something or other.
yeah, it popped it out. Looked like a dried up something.
Who's better looking with one eye, him or Martok?
Martok.
Yeah, Martok,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But this was one of the things that's weird for me because, I've watched Battlestar Galactica. Now, in the rest of the series, he doesn't have an eye anymore. It's gone. So when you watch the early seasons now, after you've seen the series, you're like, he looks so weird with two eyes. But now he's got one eye. So you got Fat Lee, and he's becoming soft. Anastasia, which is her actual name, Anastasia Duala, but they call her D. And she calls him soft too.
She said, "You're soft. I'm not talking about the weight."
But so Lee's...
Or does she not? I'm not only talking about the weight. I think
I don't think she didn't infer that she was talking about the weight.
Okay.
She said I'm not talking about the weight.
Yeah.
But obviously.
And then after that, she said, but damn!
Yeah.
Well,
Which
she-
is not appropriate.
No, that was uncalled for.
No, it was not nice. I mean,
it was out of place for the show too.
It was. It didn't fit.
Honestly,
He
the old man saying "Get your fat ass out of my office" was like, it shook me for a second.
It shook me too.
I was like, "What?
Yeah, they're not getting along again, are they? They're not.
No."
No, they're not at peace. Which I get. But like if you're the Battlestar Galactica, you're understaffed. Like they basically showed him walking through the hangar bays. There's barely no one there. Like it's empty. The Pegasus has a skeleton crew as well. Like what's the point of trying a rescue mission? It feels kind of pointless. I mean, they talk about that more in the second episode. And
I
we'll
think
get
it's the
into
only.
that,
It's the
but-
only. Really, the only way to survive. Like if they're gonna make it, they have to rescue
It
them.
gives you a goal to work towards.
Yeah, I suppose.
My question is, can't they get Lee like a size or two up of uniform? Or are you issued Are you just issued a uniform and you have to? That's your
stay
uniform.
in that. You got to stay in that.
Because
you were a size 32, sir. You need to stay in a size 32.
Because I was like, he's wearing season 2's uniform.
Yeah,
I mean, season.
Yeah, because Ripley is a good-looking Lee.
And his uniform fit
It did
nicely.
kind
this
of.
This is now he's not fitting in.
Spilling out of his. We're talking a lot about Lee. We're fat shaming Lee.
Good.
You really are.
He's fat as hell.
All right, let's go to some other things. We've talked about Lee.
You want to talk about suicide bombing and how
We're
hypocritical it is?
We're gonna get there.
Yeah, we kind of have to at some point.
We're gonna get there. Yeah, because the second episode deals with that a lot too. In fact, that's a big focus of the.
Yeah, we can pick on
episode.
this during the second episode.
So we got New Caprica. We got Starbuck is in a prison cell with Leoben, basically not torturing her, trying to get her to fall in love with him.
Yeah,
which is like, he's basically like trying to
brainwash
get
her.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah,
he wants Stockholm syndrome for her.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if you realize that's like an identical replacement of her apartment that was on Caprica.
Oh no, I didn't realize that.
So that was.
Oh, okay.
So he put her in her apartment again.
Well, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that detail.
Yep. I was wondering why they did what they did for the design of it, and I thought it looked familiar, so I looked it up, and that's what it was.
I like that she killed him 5 times.
Yeah,
and she always found new creative ways to do so.
So they're back to being able to resurrect.
Yeah, because their resurrection ship.
Well, they're right by that one thing, the regeneration. They had a regeneration station or whatever on New Caprica, right?
Did they?
Because was it the second episode? Didn't they show footage of another suicide bomber and it damaged one of those areas when they wanted him to sign the treaty or the
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
My assumption is the resurrection ship for the one episode was a big deal because that was the fleet that was following Galactica, chasing them. That they could still get another resurrection ship to them. It's just they didn't have any with that fleet at that time, so they would die.
So I was under the impression that was they mobilized the resurrection operations, made it mobile.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously I was wrong, but
I'm assuming they have some on New Caprica.
I think they did. I'm almost sure. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a resurrection station or whatever. And I think the suicide bomber.
A church.
There you go. But the suicide bomber damaged it, and that was like they're like.
So
29 Cylons or whatever died. Certain humans, and
we had to euthanize another whatever amount.
Maybe that's true. Yeah.
And it was like, yeah.
That's a good point.
Because otherwise, I mean, they just got people coming.
You can't do anything about it.
They got multiple, everybody running around.
Man, that would be weird. That would be weird. So anyways, Starbuck's getting tortured, which isn't cool, I guess.
I guess.
I don't know.
It's probably cool.
I think this is part, the last couple episodes we've talked about Starbuck being very hard to like, and she's very...
Still is.
I think this is a part of her shift. I think this is where you start to see a shift in her character because of what she's experiencing.
Yeah, she's lucky they jumped in time a whole year.
I think she looks good with long hair, though. I think she looks really good with that long hair.
I've always been a fan of long hair.
We're spending a lot of time talking about physical appearances of the characters on the show.
Meanwhile, we look like we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Nick said he's always been a fan of long hair. Nobody sees the irony?
Yeah, that's Rob said that, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
I am.
Which is also ironic because you keep your hair very short.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
You are not a fan of long hair. Well, on yourself.
No,
he's not.
I used to have long hair.
You said your hair right now is long.
Yeah. I used to have long hair.
It was the 90s. I think most people did.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyways, we get
you
more.
were a Hanson fan, or you are a Hanson fan.
Yeah.
That was like when they were teenagers, man. Let it go.
They look good, though. They were handsome young men.
Choose your words carefully, sir. Choose your next words.
He was a young man back then, too.
That's true.
They're not. I think they're Joe's age.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we hang out.
I guess that's cool. Anyways, Brother Cavill.
Show's a shit show. It really is.
I know. We're off the rails right now. Brother Cavill, you get more of Dean Stockwell in this one.
He's great.
He is really. I love his Cylon character. He's one of my favorite ones by far because he's got that levity to him. He's arrogant, but in a fun, arrogant way. Where the other ones are just just arrogant.
Yeah.
Like, they're not fun with it. Like,
Very dry.
They're very dry, but he's not. He's kind of the goofball and
Sarcastic.
Yep, exactly. And he's having his way with Ellen Ty.
Now I got a question about that. Is it the same one, or are there different? Because there's multiple ones.
One just tags in. It's like, oh, you're next time.
You mean like the one that's like the funny one?
No. Well, it's kind of
just with Ellen.
I mean, it's kind of funny to think about, but I'm kind of serious. Like, is there? There's multiple versions of him existing right in real time right now, at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
So
there could be 50 of them on that planet.
So and they all have the same consciousness?
No, they don't have. I mean, they might have the same personality, but they don't carry the same memories. Once they're resurrected.
Is it the same person who is having sex with Ellen, or is it a different?
I think it's the same.
I think it's the same model.
The same model and the same individual model of Cavill that's having sex with her.
The one with the same license plate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the same one who is in who goes to Colonial One in the next episode and is part of those negotiations. Actually, he's in Colonial One in this episode too.
But there were I think there were two of them in those negotiations over.
There were two.
Yeah.
There were two. But
because there were multiple everybody. I think
there was, but they wore different clothes. That's how you tell them apart. Yeah.
Because I'm keeping track.
I know, right?
Go ahead.
So you have Brother Cavill, and then you have Sam, Galen, and Ty, who are the leaders of the resistance movement. Does that fit for you?
Chief looks good with a beard and longer hair too.
Yeah, he does.
Chief looks great with a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He had a glow up.
Yes,
for sure.
He's got a mane on him. I like it.
He's got a chip now. He's got a real edge to him.
Yeah, he does.
Whereas, I mean, he kind of had an attitude before, but he didn't have this kind of an edge. He's he's really on a war path.
I like that. And Sam
him.
Sam has been kind of a dry character for me. This is the first time where I find myself liking Sam a little bit more.
He's the same to me, Sam. Sam hasn't changed.
Yeah.
What's Sam's last name?
Anders.
That's it, Anders.
Samuel Anders. Played by Michael Trucco.
He's been in a bunch of stuff.
He has.
Yeah.
I know he played in one episode of Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
Or a couple of them, maybe.
Yes, they brought him in.
Who was he in Big Bang Theory?
He was one of Penny's early boyfriends.
Yep. Very early.
Oh, okay.
First or second season. Yeah. Very early. Very early.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you have your resistance planning to kill Gaius Baltar. So remember what I said earlier is everyone else has finally figured out Gaius. Everyone hates Gaius now, everyone. Are you happy about that? Everyone hates Gaius.
Yeah. How do you feel about the chief kind of putting up a little bit of a fight here
against the suicide bombing idea?
I feel okay about it. Someone has to.
Well,
do you side more with the chief, or are you on Ty's?
Is that next episode where we talk about the suicide bombing, or are we doing?
We can talk about it with both because it's really a big theme in both episodes.
Sure,
but I mean, in this because this is one specific instance.
So there's two good questions that came out of this episode and the next one. One's the suicide bombing, the other one's the human police force. Mm-hmm. It does a good job of arguing for the suicide bombings in the long run, but ultimately, no. I just don't think it's good to sacrifice one in this way. I don't know. It's I don't know how the best way to articulate it is, but I just don't think the ends justify the means.
Okay.
In this scenario.
Okay.
In these two scenarios, I should say, from this episode and the next one.
Yeah.
Okay. See, okay. Let me stop myself and rethink, because I also think about when this episode was made. It was made in 2006, so we're in the middle of our occupation of Iraq.
We're in peak suicide bomb.
Peak suicide bombing, where that's constantly happening.
The new hotness.
And we here in the United States, we looked at those people as cowards, and how could they do that, and blah 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 blah. And then you look at it now. We're looking at it from the perspective of the humans here on New Caprica, who are vastly outnumbered. What is the easiest way to make a mass amount of casualties? It is a suicide bombing, because one person can easily take out 40 to 50. And this is a point that that Ty makes in the other episode, but it's okay. I'm going to bring it in here. He does say when he's talking with Rosalind, he's like, "What I've sent so many soldiers to their death on missions they knew they were going to die on, suicide missions where they get into their Raptors, they go off, they get into their Vipers, they go off and they die. What is the difference? What is the difference here?"
I think there's one difference, and in a Raptor, there's always that slim possibility something cool could happen where you can get out of that. As unbelievable as it is, there is that possibility. Suicide bombing, there isn't.
See, I thought you were going to go from a different angle where at least like when you're in a Raptor or in a Viper or something like that, you're fighting against an engaged opponent who knows they're fighting with you in that moment.
Also, there's less collateral damage.
See, I was thinking from the angle like it's an unfair advantage. Like your opponent doesn't even know you're going in there with a suicide bomb, right? They don't know anything. They're just minding their business, and then boom, they're gone. Where at least in a normal engagement, you're fighting. You're both fighting against each other. You're prepared for it, and basically may the best one win is what it is. But a suicide bombing takes that out of the equation. It's not about who the superior person is, a superior fighter. It's really just about getting in there and blowing up before they notice it.
We talked about this in our rewatch of DS9.
Yes.
The rules of war.
Yes. I knew you would. Yes.
I was waiting for it too.
Yes. Yes.
I got no problem with any of it. I really don't, because what a military is just an organized group of suicide bombers.
Yeah.
Essentially. Right?
That is a hot take right there. I mean, I'm not going to say yes or no to that, but
in a very broad sense, the goal is you're basically signing up to give your life
for your country
for an end goal.
Yep, exactly. I will die.
Now, I think it's not necessarily suicide bombing where you're going in there knowing you're going to die. But you know that is a risk, and it is especially in times of war, it's a very high percentage that you don't make it out of your mission.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah.
I have a hard time subscribing to rules of war. Because war is, I don't want to say they're unprecedented times because there have been many, many wars, so there is a precedent set.
Yeah.
But when
there's a desperation there.
There is a desperation, and especially when you're talking about a populace who is under rule of somebody who is way more powerful, and I mean, you're talking about in the real world, it was like U.S. occupied Iraq, right? And in here, we're talking about New Caprica. Mm-hmm. You got to do what you got to do to get by any means necessary.
Yeah.
People like to say that, by any means necessary. Sometimes those means is a suicide bomber. Sometimes those means are making casualties that you don't... Sometimes those means are things you don't want to think about. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to make it out alive, by any means necessary has to be by any means necessary.
So that's where I struggle with it, which, I mean, I've told you before, like, I'm an avid pacifist. I'd rather us not do any war. Like, let's put that money into our country and take care of our own citizens. But I realize we live in where that's not a realistic thought. I get that.
I don't think the Cylons are very diplomatic in that way.
Well, I know.
Yeah, I think Ukraine had a choice.
I'm saying all of this so I can lead to my next point. If you are going to do the suicide bombing, I think the only way I could find it as acceptable is if you stick with truly military targets and civilians aren't targeted in it. Now I understand.
I don't think that they're not targets.
They're collateral damage.
They're collateral damage. Your target was the
police
force and the leadership.
Yeah.
So
I have no problem with what they did in this episode. Like, in the grand scheme of things, that was a good target. That was a good idea, and the collateral damage was fairly minimal, really. Were humans killed? Yeah, but they were collaborators. Like, they're not people they're enemies at this point. And that kind of goes into the second episode, so we'll talk about that. Gosh, there's some meat here that's hard to break up between the two. But I think to me, like suicide bombing is fine when you're targeting the specific target.
I'm gonna get that drop.
I have a hard time when children start getting hurt or innocent people start getting hurt. But I also understand how in suicide bombings, that's the effectiveness of it.
Who at that graduation was innocent?
No one.
I'm sure there's somebody at the ceremony that wasn't.
I'm saying in general, like
there's just somebody that had to do the lighting.
This is a second episode.
Collaborator.
This is a second episode thing, but he starts talking about the marketplace. You know, there's going to be kids in that marketplace and innocent people.
Yeah.
But again, I understand how the purpose of suicide bombing is to inflict terror upon your opponent and make them feel like there's no way to win. Right? It's like whatchamacallit war. Guerrilla tactics in war, right? Like in Vietnam, the United States had no chance because these people are just going to keep popping out of the force and knocking you off. It doesn't matter if you have superior numbers. It's just going to be hell. And it's at this point, it's war a war of attrition. And it's like what Russia and Afghanistan in the 70s too. Same idea. War was hell because they were battling on attrition. And now the colonials are starting to battle on that idea. And I think that's very dangerous for the Cylons, and they're seeing that firsthand. Like, this sucks. But what are we doing?
But it worked.
Does it work though? Because what do they do?
It got. I understand, but it worked.
It got their attention.
It got their attention, and
Which is what they wanted.
It made them move. It made them change up their strategy, their approach.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe one or two or a few suicide bombings didn't win in the long run. Mm-hmm. But right now you're trying to do anything, and that moves the needle.
Right.
That changes their path. And
right.
so now you know, okay, we got a shot. It's not. They're not just going to completely dominate over us. We have ways to get their attention.
Right. That's the thing. Suicide bombing is a morale booster for the underdogs, and it really knocks on those ones with the advantage. But at the same time, once you open that can of worms, you can't put that can back. So, like, this is the problem that Galen and Anders and Ty are now facing. Once you start using those tactics in war, goes back to even Pegasus. Once you start using these techniques, you no longer ever have moral high ground again. You've pretty much lost it.
So kind of the way I look at it is comparing everybody on the planet right now is Pegasus versus Galactica.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an interesting way to look at it, too.
Except for Pegasus didn't need to do what they did, whereas the Colonials right now need to do what they're doing.
I think it's apples and oranges. Pegasus was doing it to their own crew. They were doing it to their own people. Yeah. And the 15 civilian ships.
That's true.
So it was a loose comparison, just saying that the extremes they'll go to. It wasn't a point.
No, I know. I get it.
Yeah, don't be mean to him.
It just means when
he
they all
had a good point.
It just means when they all get back to the ships, they're going to be all a lot more dirty.
Yeah, exactly. They are. And how do you come back from doing those?
And that's the thing is, how do you come back from this?
And I understand, again, in your mind, you could be like, well, we're killing Cylons. Well, you're also killing your people this goes into the second episode discussion, who are a member of the police force. So, I don't know.
What, does it matter if they're a Cylon or not, if they're working for the Cylons?
I think we've seen that it does.
Why?
Because you can change minds. You can change hearts.
I think once you sign up, once you sign up with the enemy, you become the enemy.
Yeah, if you kill them, you don't need to change.
You're permanently the enemy, though.
See ya.
When your race is almost extinct. This is how I'm looking at it.
But here's the thing: like when you're dead, everything is permanent.
And these police are
so they become the enemy. They kill you.
And these police are
permanently
about to execute a bunch of people.
The police aren't.
They're rounding them up.
Yet.
They're rounding them up.
And putting them in torture rooms and getting their eyes plucked out. And so Duck had a good... No, this is the second episode. Dang it, never mind.
I think we've pretty much
let's go
covered the episode.
All right, so let's...
And they bleed into each other, so you might as well sum up the second one.
Well, and actually they aired on the same night.
Did they?
Yeah,
they're
they aired these
back-to-backers?
ones back-to-back because of that. It was actually a two-part movie. Like, they envisioned this as a 2-point movie, almost. 2-part movie.
But I appreciate that they didn't do part 1 and part 2.
No, they did not.
I wish they would have.
In response to the suicide bombing of the new Caprica police, the Cylons have a crackdown. So many resistant members start to disagree about the suicide bombing, but Saul Tigh continues to orchestrate them. Meanwhile, in order to get Kara to love him more, Leoben presents a toddler named Casey and says, "This is your baby. Remember when we took out your ovaries? We made a baby." And Starbuck's like, "No, keep that baby away from me. She evil." And so she leaves the room, and the baby falls and bumps its head.
It got pushed.
Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more baby jumping on the bed."
Barmy's dead. Woo,
So
Barmy's
as
dead.
she's recovering,
Nobody.
Starbuck has a change of heart. She starts praying to the Lords of Kobol for the recovery of the baby. Meanwhile, the Cylons decide to have 200 civilians arrested as members of the resistance, and it's headed by Jammer, who was one of the Galactica's deckhands, and he was a pilot. And most of the arrests are
Was he on
happening
the second deck?
second deck. Most of those arrested were like Laura Roslin, Tom Zarek, Kelly was arrested, and learning of this, Jammer tries to get her released by talking to Boomer, but Boomer can't help. Boomer ain't no help. And another suicide bombing happens. The Cylons decide now it's time to execute those bad boys, but they want President Baltar's signature. And he's
Which
like,
of course they'll do.
He's like, "No, I'm not signing it. And I refuse to sign it. No, not going to do it." They hold him at gunpoint and say, "We'll kill you if you don't."
What a bum.
And he ends up signing it. Basically,
Thanks, Baltar.
Scumbag.
Ellen's continuing her relationship with Cavill.
I like that you use the word relationship.
I know, right? And basically, he tells her that if you don't give me more information, people gonna die some more. So Ellen gives them the location of a secret colonial fleet meetup. On board Galactica, Dama appoints Sharon Agathon, a colonial officer, and sends her on to a mission on the planet. And as this is happening, 200 prisoners are being transported, and Jammer, realizing they're about to be executed, saves Kelly. He lets her go, and she runs away to the sound of gunfire.
Who is the most annoying character on the show? It might be Kelly. That might be my vote.
Kelly's not a good actress.
No.
See, I'm giving Kelly a hard time because she's really, truly in a sex cult, and I don't care for her because of that. So she's not a good actress.
It's her voice, too.
I like that they get. I mean, this sex cult. It needs more exposure because they're getting D-list actors and actresses.
Yeah, like WB ones and CW ones.
I know,
Sci-fi.
but at least Scientology gets Tom Cruise. They get
And
A-list.
John Travolta for a hot minute.
They get A-list
Kirstie
MFer.
Alley.
Yeah.
John Travolta's still Scientology.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is.
That is an A-list cult.
Yeah, Elizabeth Moss is in there. She's like a B.
They're trying to. This is way off topic, but did you see that Tom Cruise is interested in Shakira?
No, I heard rumor of that.
Gosh.
Like
They were flirting back and forth.
Yep.
Go away, Tom. Go away.
Get it, Tom Cruise. Get it.
All the cult and Scientology stuff aside, man's got good taste in
Hey,
women.
you got to shoot your shot.
If you have even a chance with Shakira, you take that chance.
You exactly. He is Top Gun for a reason.
If I were Tom Cruise and I had an opportunity at Shakira, I would not be able to live with myself if I did not shoot that shot.
I would feel the other way around for Tom Cruise with Shakira. Shoot that shot with Shakira.
That's what he's saying.
I thought you said for
Jesus Christ.
No.
for the other way around.
If I were Tom Cruise, if you have access, to,
you got to go for it.
You got to go for it.
You got to go for it.
I wouldn't be able to.
I
live
thought
with
you were
myself.
talking about it for Shakira towards Tom Cruise, which is kind of true
No.
too. But
Also,
except for
she's
he's crazy.
shorter than him, which helps him.
Which helps
big.
a lot, yeah.
Yeah, which helps him. Okay, so
Okay.
back to Battlestar Galactica. So first of all, the mention of the swirl. Did you catch that?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
was it? That's a Seinfeld reference.
It's a Seinfeld
Is it?
reference. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Oh.
intentionally a Seinfeld reference by Ronald D. Moore. He loves Seinfeld.
Ugh,
So
sorry,
he drops in a Seinfeld reference to the swirl. What's that new thing you're doing? It's the swirl.
It's a swirl.
That's hilarious. What was yeah?
It was Jerry had a sex move that David
I
David
remember
Putty
now.
stole,
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
now.
and then everybody tried to mimic it and like do their own take on it, but it was never.
It was never.
the same.
Yeah. All right. So the suicide bombing, things are getting worse. So now so this goes with Saul Tigh. He has that conversation with the president, and he basically says he's like death, right? I'm the destroyer. You know, once we go down this path, there's no going back. And
Good. I like this, Saul. I like this tie.
I'm trying to remember what his actual quote was because it was incredible. I feel like he knocked it out of the park in this episode. This actor for
In both of these episodes, and this is
This is his wheelhouse.
yeah, this is really
God
good for
damn it,
him.
Nick.
he was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Colonel, I'm going to look this up. So start talking about it.
So Ellen's a scumbag.
Yeah, that's a dick move.
I mean, then what is she having sex with this guy for? Is she just going to give everything up?
I think she truly thinks she's doing the right thing, though, because she's trying to use
She's trying to
him
save Saul.
Yeah.
I get it, but like everybody in this is a scumbag. They're just trying to save their own lives.
Yeah.
Why not just go tell Saul, give him a heads up?
Exactly.
Because she's ashamed of what she's doing, I think.
You don't have to tell him you're banging the guy. Just go and say, I got this information. I overheard this information. This is what's...
And Ty himself has said you
guys.
go down there and you bang whoever you want.
But if she goes and does that, he's going to figure it out that she's releasing that information, and now her life is in danger.
Do you think Saul cares?
At this point?
Not Saul. I'm not talking about Saul. I'm talking about Ellen is concerned about her life now with Brother
I know, that's
Cavill.
what I'm saying. She's a scumbag, just like Baltar.
I see. I
Take the bullet, Baltar. If you have a moral high ground, how far are you willing to go for that moral high ground?
But then they'll just put another president in his place. And I do like what they said. They're like, if they kill him, like now they'll be happy that you killed him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you would have done it at the beginning, like he would have been a martyr. But now it's like
They should have just done it then.
I know, right?
I was really crossing my fingers.
I enjoyed that scene though with him in there, and him breaking down and crying and kind of like crap.
No,
I was doing the entire shoot him.
no, I felt nothing for him.
I feel
He is a
so
bum.
bad for
He is a
him.
In my
bum.
Thai voice, I was like, shoot him.
What are you
Shoot him.
supposed to do?
He's an absolute
What is he
bum.
supposed to do?
He's a bum.
So you want him to just take a stand and get shot anyways, instead of maybe if he stays. Well, okay. The problem is Baltar's a dirtbag, and we know what he's going to do. But like, if you sign it, like you already know it's going to happen anyways. But why not just sign it and then try to work behind scenes to get it to stop? Like that would be my thing. But if they shoot me in the head, they're just going to get someone else to sign it, and there's no chance those people can be saved. I know Baltar is not that guy.
Baltar's not going to be like, oh, I'm working behind him. He's going to be like, oh, woe is me.
Woe is me, and there's nothing I can do. And then
Head six, come on.
Head six comes back and basically says you got to sign it because they killed his girlfriend in front of him.
She'll be back.
She'll be back.
I know. Doesn't he know that? He should know that.
Yeah.
I know.
He gets a newer model with the same.
I know, new and improved, man.
Yeah.
No nicks, cuts, or scrapes yet.
But I just
wait till the swirl comes.
I don't.
Literally.
Nothing is going to get me to sympathize with this guy. He is a bum. He is an absolute lowlife.
No sympathy at all.
I mean, he's not meant to be liked right now, but
I don't know. There's very little at this point. There's very little they could do to get me to change my mind on him. He has had so many opportunities to do right. He's a bum. He's the whole reason they're in this.
He is the whole reason.
he looks at something. What's the right thing to do?
Him
I'm
or
doing
Gata.
the other thing.
Him or Gata, who now is trying to help. He's breaking rules to help.
What did Gata do? Gata has done nothing wrong. Why are you out against Gata? They were trying to steal an election. That's not right.
Wasn't Gata the informant?
Yes, he's the informant. That's a good thing.
Yeah, but he's breaking rules. He's breaking rules to get what they want.
To get what who wants?
He's informing the
opposition.
Insurgents.
He's helping the good guys.
Right. Who he sees as the good guys. He's helping them by doing something illegal and wrong, right?
Yeah, what's your point?
He snitched on them stealing the election because it was illegal and wrong.
But now he's probably I effed up.
But now they're siding with the Cylon. There's a difference, right? The will of the people with the Colonials is different.
This is all so convenient. Everybody's got morals.
No.
Whenever it serves
Gata
them.
had a good reason for that. You
Gata's
don't want to
bum.
go down.
You know what?
Look. If this is anyone's problem, it is Baltar because he chose that planet.
It is Baltar.
And not only did he choose that planet, but even after the nuclear bomb went off, he's like, nope, we're still settling there anyways, even though Adama, I keep wanting to call him Obama, Thanks, Adama.
Thanks,
Thanks, Adama. Even though Adama said, don't do it now, man. We have a security threat. We got to get out of here. And he's like, nah, we still settling. And look what happened. So if you want to blame someone, blame Gaius. You leave Gata's name out of your mouth.
Look,
Slap
Will
him.
Smith.
Slap him.
You keep Gata's name out your mouth. What do you think? Is Gata a bad guy?
No, I think
He's a bum.
No.
I think he did technically the right thing initially, and realized he's like, oh man, that was a terrible decision. So now he's like trying to do even
Is this
better.
a two wrongs make a
He's
right
trying,
sort of thing?
No,
Yeah,
he is trying to make up for the wrong that he did.
He's atoning?
Where Gaius never does.
He's atoning?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. Actually, he's trying to do
If you
right
would've-
now.
I agree.
Gaius doubles
and
down, right?
Baltar's always like, I'm gonna wait. Is that the douche move to make? I'm doing that.
Yeah. How can I look out for
Yeah.
myself even more? That's what he does.
Then I'll double. I mean,
Where Gaius isn't looking out for, he could die by doing this. Like the second they find out he's a collaborator, he's dead.
Good.
Why? He didn't do anything. Gaius is fine.
And how did they
You
not?
think
Not Gaius.
Oh,
Not Gaius. I'm sorry.
Gata.
Gata.
Okay. Well, you said Gaius, and I was like, yeah. What's the downside here?
Yeah. You're right. Sorry.
And how did they not know that? What's his face? Gata isn't the guy feeding the information. Come on, there was no subtlety when he's like, I'm not going to the graduation. He's like, oh yeah, I gotta
go.
I gotta pee.
Yeah.
And he
He's
puts
huffing
it the hell out of there.
I've been holding it all day.
He's huffing it down the field.
I'll go tell the fleet bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious. And
Although Baltar's he's so obsessed with himself. He there's absolutely no
He's not
way he
paying
would have paid
attention.
attention.
Oh, he wouldn't turn on me.
And that's part of the problem is he doesn't care about what's going on around him. Gata doesn't care at all.
He couldn't be
Cylons are
bothered.
too wrapped up in their own crap. They're not paying attention to what's going on. You know, they're too busy infighting right now, not getting along really
What
well.
does Baltar do all day? How does he fill his time?
Drink and sleep around.
Yeah, sleep around is probably my number one choice he does.
Yeah.
How come he doesn't have a
I'd
lip thing?
assume right now he's basically just drinking himself to death. Like I
Can
think
we
I
speed
think
that up?
he is a dirtbag. He is a dirtbag, but I also think he's realized what he's done, and I think he's at a low point right now.
Boo-hoo. That guy's
Or when
Have some empathy, bro.
No.
when the
Not for
former
this guy.
president tells him, tell it to Saul Tide, and he's like, no one's getting tortured. No one is.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
just living in denial.
You're an idiot.
But that's how he excuses what he's doing.
I hope he dies.
Denial.
Yep.
Denial. I found the quotes from Ty, which
Okay.
are incredible quotes.
Do it in your best Thai voice.
No, I can't.
No, do it.
You do it in your best
No.
high voice.
I want Nick to do it.
But Chief Petty Officer Tyrell, I always say it wrong. You know we need to figure out what side we're on. He's like, which side we're on? We're on the side of demons, Chief. We're evil men in the gardens of paradise sent by the forces of death to spread devastation and destruction wherever we go.
Fuck yeah, those are Metallica lyrics.
I'm surprised you didn't know that. I love that quote.
Dude, Ty is metal as hell.
Dude, and he's not wrong. That is
No.
their mission. They are sent on a mission of
I know.
death and destruction. Evil men in the gardens of paradise.
I love
That sounds like a song title.
Yes.
it sounds
Can we write that song?
Whoever wrote that line, though, like I want to give that.
It was Ronald
writer-
D.
it
Moore.
was Ronald D. Moore.
That was him
He,
who
he
wrote
was,
that
he was
stuff.
the sole writer of this episode.
Yeah, this
Was
and,
he?
and the last
Yeah.
one.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that line alone is some of the best.
That's a fan. That was
One
a
of the best
fantastic.
lines.
He was
that
jamming
Ty has
some
had.
hard rock, and he's like, "Oh, I'm stealing this line."
And then his other line is, I've sent men on suicide mission in 2 wars now, and let me tell you something. It don't make a god's damn bit of different whether they're riding in a Viper or walking onto a parade ground. In the end, they're just as dead. So take your piety and your moralizing on your high-minded principles and stick them someplace safe until you're off this rock and sitting in your nice cushy chair on Colonial 1 again. I've got a war to fight.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Like, this is...
he's a Dan
but
Campbell.
this is,
Yeah. We're gonna bite their
some
kneecap.
kneecaps. This is the Ty that I think Adama sees.
Okay.
And we just haven't seen
Where,
that.
I know where. Is it strict? Are they like the New York Yankees where they can't grow facial hair on Galactica? Get this man a
Probably.
beard.
This man needs a beard and an eye patch because clearly
He's gone full
He was seeing
Martok.
too much.
It's
He
ironic.
was seeing too much. Now he's got a singular vision.
It's ironic that he lost an eye and gained perspective.
Exactly. Oh my gosh! But Colonel Ty, MVP of these last 2 episodes for me because
Most
of that.
valuable prisoner.
Nice.
Well done, sir. Well done. Okay, so we got the new colonial police. This is kind of what we wanted to talk about, right? Because we were talking about suicide bombing, and these are humans getting killed, but they become the enemy. But then we hear Jammer talking, and Jammer truly thinks he was doing something good. He went in there with good intentions, right? Get the Cylons off the streets.
Says every cop ever.
No, I'm pretty sure there are actually some cops that go into him like, I can get away with murder.
I'm
yeah.
sure.
Well,
Because a lot of cops used to be the high school bullies. Let's be honest. The old high school football quarterback.
I don't think there's a lot of police listening to this show, so I think we're safe.
No, there are good cops.
There are good cops.
But I think there are few. Like pastors, I think there are few far between.
I think right now the police force in America is very similar to the Pegasus. There are good ones in there, but man, the whole culture is rotting.
But I think
same thing with church culture.
Yeah, I agree.
With pastors.
I agree.
It's rotting right now.
I've said that for years that
Yes.
pastors and cops are very similar. There's good ones in there, but boy, it's hard to find them.
Mm-hmm.
And the bad ones make it hard for the good ones.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. I just heard a good one the other day tell me that, saying, "You're a bad one, and you've made it hard for me." I'm kidding. I made that up.
I was to say, oh, interesting. I want to know more.
No.
yeah.
No.
Screw the episode.
I know.
Go on.
So the new Caprica police force. You don't think there's any way any human should even remotely try to be like, yes, let's try to take this back? Like when the Cylons come initially. So this is where I get very confused, right? Because the Cylons decide they're going to be peaceful. So why are they going in there to occupy the planet? That's my first thing.
This is their version of peaceful.
This is their version. So if we watch over you, we can make sure it's peaceful.
And they still view the humans as Cylons.
So it's kind of reversing the roles where the Cylons used to be the servants of humans, and now they're reversing those roles.
Yeah, and if the humans don't believe what they believe, just shoot them. Or they're worthless.
That was the thing, that was the thing they said in this episode. They're there to spread the word of God, right? They're there to colonize them.
This is Old Testament.
This is Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
This is every occupancy ever.
Yeah.
Nobody go. This is literally every occupancy. You go in, and your end goal is peace, quote unquote.
Yeah.
According to your ideals.
Yeah.
And you eradicate differing opinions and ideals in the name of the end game of peace.
Well, that's what
Think
happened
about Peacemaker.
Yeah. I don't care how many men, women, or children I have to kill
to get peace.
That's basically what it is.
That's what happened with the United States and Iraq, right? We're there to bring them democracy. Okay, if they're not ready for it, it's not going to work. Like
it's the same thing with Germany in the 40s.
Germany in the 40s. Well, and this storyline
Russia now.
This storyline mirrors World War II because when Germany stormed into France, part of France surrendered immediately. It was Vichy France surrendered and basically were a puppet government by the Nazis and committed atrocities against their own people. So it's a very similar storyline here, which I definitely appreciate from as a history major perspective. I really love that. So you're saying there's no excuse ever for, even if their intentions are good, to join a new Caprican police force led by the Cylons.
The only reason
I think it's short-sighted. I think it's naive.
Short-sighted.
Yeah.
And naive. Okay.
Unless you're collaborating with all the other human police force to get a big group and then overthrow.
Ah, that's an interesting point.
Now,
it's one thing for you to be one person to go in there, but get a group of like 30 of you together and be like, let's all join at the same time. Let's infiltrate.
And those 30 get 30 more, and then those 60 get 60 more.
Again, they round up all those people and pull some triggers later.
Well, we haven't seen anything yet.
We haven't seen anything.
But
I say treat it like a pyramid scheme. You get one who tells one, and then those two tell two more, and then those four who
then 8, then 6. Yeah, exactly. But okay, so you got Jammer here who really thinks he was doing the right thing, but now he's clearly in too deep, and he knows it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I think he's doing what he can.
But so how is this any different than Baltar?
Because Jammer was actually a good person before this.
Yeah.
Baltar has been a scumbag the whole
Since
time.
square one.
Yeah, I mean, there is.
All Baltar had to do from the beginning is go, by the way, I can detect Cylons, and I effed up initially.
Yeah.
Gosh, how much would that have solved from the very beginning?
It'd be a 3-episode show.
It'd be over. Kill all the Cylons, and we're running. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, it would be so much easier.
But, I mean, I think it's, again, apples and oranges. I think Jammer was a decent guy before this, put in a bad spot, made a decision he thought was the best at the time, and immediately realized it was bad, and he's trying to kind of backtrack a little bit here. Whereas Baltar has, at almost every single step until now,
done the wrong thing.
has doubled down on his mistakes.
So Jammer, let's say this occupation ends tomorrow. They find out he was a member of this police force. Can you forgive Jammer? Or is he hung as a collaborator?
Surface level, he's hung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot.
Where was that a recent thing where, like offering what was that? There was a show I was watching where they basically offered anyone who was the enemy basically a free pass at that point.
Get out of jail free card.
Well, not a get out, but like blanket pardon for the like kind of what happened in the Civil War.
Pardons are
Like they were all pardoned, but they could no longer run for office. They could no longer hold a political office.
Yeah, but pardons only go as far as legality.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You can't pardon the thoughts of the people.
Well, that's my point. Like,
he might not ever be held legally responsible for his actions.
Yeah,
but he will. There is under no circumstance will he be looked at as a clean person.
Even though he did everything right in his mind, and
people
he
don't know that really.
But they don't know that.
They don't know that.
Gosh, see, that's what sucks. Ah.
Hey,
So you're saying don't join the New Caprica police force?
I'm saying it's a terrible idea.
Yes.
See, I'd be one of those suckers who would be like, look, if we just get in there and get our people in there, we can get the side. And that's what Jammer thought.
Yeah. It's a
Less
version of a
Cylons
cult,
on the
and we know
street.
how you are with those.
I know. It's naivety. I know. I get it.
You like to
it.
see the good intentions in everything, and
do,
even
I know it's
so
not realistic.
much so that I think you'll even fabricate some.
I know. I do that. I do that with Gaius all the time.
I know.
You're
I'm
doing
like,
it today.
and
guys.
immediately I'm like, no, he's a scumbag because A, B, and C, and you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
there is that.
Oh yeah, but
but isn't that the
He has
same
a gun
thing
to
as
his
Guy?
head.
No, it's not.
He has
He's
a-
done this for two
but
seasons.
He has a gun to his head this time.
So, anyways, New Caprica police, they arrest the 200 people. You got President Roslin in there. Or, well, no longer president. You got Laura Roslin and Tom Zarek sitting next to each other. And Tom says, you tried to fix the election, didn't you? And she's like, yep.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
he
she
says,
didn't
I
try to
wish
do it. She did
said,
it.
I wish you would have.
I wish you would have. Yeah, yeah.
She did it.
Yeah. But he did say tried.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah. Well, she did try.
Well, he doesn't know that Gata ratted them out.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't
They
know
don't-
that Gata did the right thing.
No.
See, is it funny that when I saw Zarek sitting
a
there,
rat.
I'm like, he's a plant.
Oh.
The entire time I had him like, he's
Well, 'cause that's
he's an
what we're-
effing plant.
That's what we're led to
He's
believe.
typecast.
He's working with the
Probably.
silence. This son
That's
of a bitch.
what we've been led to believe. You can't
Yeah.
trust anyone, right? That's the whole point, is creating this sense of paranoia in the series. But no, he's up for shooting duty just as much as Laura is.
Question.
Yes.
Hypothetical. Let's say Gaius actually grows a pair of balls and doesn't sign, and they blow his brains out. Who, if you're the Cylons, who do you replace?
Wasn't
Zarek was the vice president,
was Zarek the vice president?
but he was in prison for 4 months.
Does that do they strip him of office?
I'm assuming so. I'm assuming right away when they landed on that planet and Gaius surrendered right away, I'm assuming Zarek right away threw a stink and they threw him in prison.
Who is
There is no vice president, I'm assuming.
okay?
Who's the Secretary of State?
I don't know. Yeah.
So what? Yeah, what is the chain of command?
Who's the Secretary of Education?
Yeah.
Laura Roslin is president.
But it honestly sounded like the Cylons were just like, we'll get whoever in there anyway.
Yeah, they don't care. They're just going to get a puppet government.
So are the Cylons just going to replace somebody and be like, they're president now?
they'll just they'll hold a fake election probably,
Yeah.
And they'll rig it.
and they'll rig it. Yeah.
And Gato will be like, I'm out this time. Do whatever you
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
Here's our
I don't
new,
want this responsibility.
Here's our new candidate. Her name is Sharon Zoomer. She's really great. She looks familiar.
Yeah.
I like at the end.
I've seen a bunch of her around.
Yeah, right.
It's funny because that line at the end of the episode where
By Hilo.
it's like, Hilo's
not
like, well,
His hair is terrible, by the way.
it wasn't Hilo. It was
Anders.
Anders. And
I
she's like,
miss
"Oh,
you,
I
and
miss
it's
you."
funny.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen you or whatever. He's like, I feel like I see you every day.
And you're like, ah,
Good one.
because he does.
Yeah.
Hilo's hair is terrible too.
Yeah, it's
oh
not.
my gosh.
That's 2006.
Oh,
You can't help.
Hilo's the XO now. Good for him. He got promoted. He's a Battlestar.
By default.
Yeah,
I
by
know
default.
there's like no one left on the ship. Who wants to do it?
Hilo, you.
Yeah.
You're the highest ranking main character that is still on this ship.
You are now the XO. Congratulations. Okay, then we're on Galactica, and they're planning for this mission, this rescue mission, and there's a conversation between Lee and him where Lee's like, "Yeah, I may have grown soft, but bro, like if this fails, we're dead.
Yeah.
There's no one left. Game over, man. Game over, man." And he's like, "Okay, you're right. Take the fleet and go."
And so they have a discussion, and this is where my thing I mentioned earlier comes in.
With
so
your
they have a
Pearl Jam
discussion
song?
about living in. You can either live in the past or you can make decisions in the present. Right? You can deal with things now. And there's a song called Present Tense
Okay.
off of No Code, which is their 1996 album,
Yeah.
which I think is incredibly underrated. But it says there's a lyric. This is like the chorus. It says you can spend your time alone redigesting past regrets, or you can come to terms and realize you're the only one who cannot forgive yourself. It makes much more sense to live in the present tense.
Mm.
And it immediately reminded me of that lyric.
That's
and it's
nice.
You exist here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Tying it all back to our
Yes,
genesis of a series.
Yeah.
Not Genesis the band.
Or Genesis, the Star Trek device.
But that song, those lyrics had a very profound impact in my life. It hit me at a time where I was at a kind of a crossroads. And
See you at the
Bones-
crossroads.
Thug and Harmony?
what?
Bone
Yeah.
Thugs and Harmony?
See you at the crossroads.
I heard it on the first of the month.
Yeah.
But anyway, that conversation immediately reminded me of that, and it just still rings true. It's you can't live in the past and just dwelling on your mistakes because you can't change those.
Yeah.
You got to move forward. You have to make the best decisions that you can in the present tense.
Yeah.
And I think that's what both Adamas are doing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's fascinating though, because now you're basically saying you're having Lee take the Pegasus, the strongest Battlestar, and take the remaining civilian fleet, which is we don't know how many people are there. Right? Did he say 1,500 or something like that?
I don't think they said.
I think it was like 1,000.
Oh, maybe.
Not many.
It was
it's
like
not
1,000
many
people.
left on. They had like 40 ships. Well, we don't. All the ships aren't up there anymore.
Yeah, a lot on the ground.
A lot of them are on the ground.
I believe it was. I think the number thrown out was 1,000.
Yeah, so 1,000 people, which basically means you're extinct, right? Because we already saw that Gaius ran his calculation and is like,
Basically, like 1/45 of what's left,
yeah, we're done.
or
You know?
what there was.
Yeah, there's no chance that they have to succeed. But anyways, he basically says, take the fleet and run. And they go their separate ways. And there you go. But in the meantime, Sharon, who he's been getting comfortable with the commander, the admiral, gets reinstated into the colonial fleet. She gets...
It only took 2 years.
So now they legitimately have a Cylon working with them.
Yep, with them.
They're not collaborating.
They're not.
It's-
She's full on. She is
She is a Ferengi in Starfleet.
She's a
defective.
Ferengi in Starfleet. Lieutenant Sharon or not Agathon, because they're not married. What is her name? Sharon something.
Sharon Boomer.
Boomer.
Sharon Boomer works for me. I like it. Let's take it. But yeah, so she's officially on the mission, and
She's on the payroll.
she's on the payroll.
And she's going to get blamed for this whole going wrong.
But I don't think it went wrong really yet.
When they landed on the planet,
I
it's supposed to be a secret. They'll never find us here. And they found him there.
Yep.
She's going to take the blame for Ellen.
You think
I know
so?
I know it's going to happen next episode.
Oh, you just know everything, don't you?
I think he watched it.
No, I didn't. I just got done with the second episode like 20 minutes before you got here.
Oh, did you? Well, I have seen these episodes, and I know the answer to that.
Don't tell us.
I'm not going to. I'm not a douchebag. Oh,
Fact check.
That's untrue. So the only other thing we haven't really talked about is Starbuck with the kid. Very
that was quick, huh?
But I mean, like, what a well-maintained stroke of manipulation by Leoben, right? To bring in a kid to be
Especially when he pushed the kid down the stairs.
Yeah.
Do you think he did it? Or do you think the kid
It
just
would
fell on
not
her
surprise me one little bit.
own? I mean, it wouldn't
Oh,
surprise
no,
me.
I don't think the Cylon would do anything to manipulate a human.
I'm not being like he would never do it. I'm asking you what you think. I'm not being.
I mean, he's trying really hard.
here.
He's really
Listen,
trying to get that Panani. So
By any means necessary, and that includes pushing children downstairs.
Sometimes they deserve it.
The suicide bombing in the children world.
yeah,
So this kid falls down the stairs, and now
Falls, in quotes.
And now Starbuck is all like, "Yeah," and she grabs his hand at the end. Sincere or not sincere? Her hand grab of Leoben.
Sincere, she's a dummy.
You think
listen,
she's all in now?
I don't like a lot of people
No,
on this
he's
show
about-
right now.
yeah.
Yeah, I know you don't.
They're all bums.
You like Saul?
Saul's a badass.
Yeah, he is.
I like Saul, and I like the chief.
Do you like the president still? Rosalind.
I like
Do you
Rosalind.
I like Rosalind.
She's sticking to
You
her
like
guns.
you like
Yeah.
the chief?
I like the
Do
chief.
you like Sam Anders? Isn't bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
indifferent.
Adama's pretty amazing.
I like Adama still.
I do like Adama.
Yeah, especially when he-
Regular size Adama, not super size.
You know what's so funny though is even supersized Lee, he's still smaller than his dad.
Right?
But his
His
dad, calls-
his dad
but
wears
his
an
dad is-
appropriate size
I'm
clothing.
assuming his
Old.
dad is like stout though.
Yeah.
Like he's
He's got a big
muscle.
base.
Yeah, he's all muscle.
No, I don't know about that.
No, but when you see him, that was the size that we met him at.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've adjusted. It's now it's like
But
Lee,
that'd be like me fat shaming someone else. Like I can be like,
do it.
you need to lose 20 pounds. Be
Yeah.
like, look in the mirror.
If anybody
bro.
knows, it's
That's true.
you're
That's
coming
true.
from a place of
I'm
knowledge.
speaking from experience, sir.
Yeah.
It's bad on the knees. Lose that weight.
Amen.
Amen, sister.
Yeah, it's real disingenuous if somebody who's thin is like, you need to lose some weight. Like, who do you think you're talking
Who are
to?
you? Get out of my
Get me a
face.
fat person. Give me a big person to tell me that.
It might
Jeez.
motivate me.
Yeah.
It might. Anything else stand out to you about this episode, gentlemen? I have some production notes that I can offer you.
Yeah. Hit us with
I
those
have a
notes.
thing that Ronald D. Moore said about Ty. Ronald D. Moore wanted the second part to focus more on Jammer's role within the NCP, as he wanted to personalize somebody for working for the police force. He also wanted to make Ty know he's wrong with launching suicide bombers, but has to do so if he believes doing so will defeat the Cylons. And he says this is also Ty's principal trait and role in the series. He stated, "Why is Colonel Ty on Galactica? Why does Why does Adama keep him around? Because when the chips are down, and they are way down, baby, in this situation, when you are in a foxhole, who do you want next to you? You want Colonel Ty, because he is going to get your ass out of there."
Because this is what I
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is Colonel Ty. Now you're like, okay, all right, we like Colonel Ty now.
It was there. It's why he was in the position he was in, and we never got to see it. Now we see it.
He was the ace in the hole, but needs to be the ace in the hole in order to be to function properly.
Yeah.
And I don't want to contradict what our good friend Ronald D. Moore said, but is it really the wrong thing if it's
I think
what
it's
needs
still,
to what
I
you need
think
to
it's
do?
still wrong. I think you can.
How is
this
something
goes
that
back
is
to
going
our
to lead
conversation in the past. You can still do something wrong that leads to the outcome you want. It doesn't make the action right that you did before.
Did
If
the,
it's the
did the
only- if
Bajorn
it's-
suicide bomb?
Huh?
Did the Bajorn suicide bomb?
I'm
Yes,
sure
they did. But does that make it right? It did not make it right.
If it's the only way, then it's the right way.
No,
Yes.
no, it's not
There
the
is
only
no
way.
there is no wrong way.
Yes, there is.
No. Not
Yeah.
in this case.
Well, I mean,
It's the only play they have.
it's not the only play they have. You know what the other play they have? cast all your aspirations behind Baltar. He is the way. He is the truth. and he is
Jesus
the
H.
life.
Christ. You know what? I'll be the next suicide bomber if that's the case.
I just now. I mean, again, I see why he's doing it. It doesn't make the action right. I think you can
I
still
got
be.
no problem with it.
I think you can be morally wrong and still justify an action. Can you not?
Morals are out the window at this point. If you're sitting on and standing on morals right now while you're being occupied and eradicated at a lightning speed.
Are they being eradicated though? Or are they just being tortured and tormented?
I mean, they're being killed. That's eradication.
Well, now they are. But were they before?
Eradication, baby.
Because I don't think they ever said that. Like they've been mass shootings or anything like by the Cylons. They've just been tortured and demeaned and.
Yeah.
They've just been
although, I mean,
tortured.
I'm just saying.
What has the population done under Cylon occupation?
Not grown or not.
It hasn't
prospered.
Grown. It hasn't grown.
Yeah.
So it is an eradication. Probably slow. I don't think there's any incentive for the Cylons to grow the human population. Got to do what you got to do.
Yep.
Right and wrong are out the window right here now.
I don't know. I'm going to have to disagree with you. But that's okay. It's okay that you're wrong.
Best thing
Ask somebody who's had all of their freedom stripped whether they give a shit about morality.
Well, joke's on you because I can't.
Well, I know. Joke's on you because they don't.
Shall we go to rating the episode, gentlemen?
Yep.
Or is there anything else?
I rate these 100.
All right. So
out of 1,000.
These were good discussions. I enjoy. This is, again, this goes back to why I used to love I still love Star Trek. I love when Star Trek asks big questions. With the talks about what's right, what's wrong. Star Trek used to do that a lot. Deep Space Nine did that a lot. And that's why I love these two episodes. They ask very difficult questions that I don't think you can be on the wrong side of the there's major justifications for each side.
So there's no wrong.
Shut up. That's not what I meant. All right. So, occupation. Part 1. No, I'm kidding. Occupation.
What say you, Nick?
Gosh, I really like this episode. But 8.
Okay. 8.5.
To me, this episode was the best of the series. 9.
What?
Yeah.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I might cry.
God.
It just took me. Okay. So I'm curious about. Okay, let's go to the next.
That's a 9%.
Yeah, 9%.
Oh,
out of 100. Out of 100.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks. Let's
Still
go
the best of the
let's
series
go to
for him.
let's go to the next rating first, and then I want to quickly talk about that. Precipice.
9.
I give Precipice a 9 myself.
Yeah, 9. I'll stick with it.
A 9. Okay.
Can you change me to a 9 for the first one?
9.
You want to go 9? Okay.
Yeah, because even though they're not part 1 and part 2, they do piggyback off each other. It is really hard for me to separate the two of them.
Oh, see, I feel like there is a separation a little bit because one goes more heavily into the implications of suicide bombing and also the police force, but it requires one as the setup for that.
No, there's an overall narrative change between the two to me.
Yeah. But these episodes were very highly rated in season 3 as well.
I can see that.
The highest rated episode of this season is coming up next week. One of the highest rated episodes. Exodus part.
We'll see.
Oh, you've already watched it, so.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Exodus part 1 and part 2. Exodus part 2 is probably in my top 5 for the series.
It's a good song,
episodes. So, wow, 9s. Wow, we're off to a banging start here for season 3. I got news for you. There's a couple stinkers in season 3, though.
That happens.
Every season has it, but there is a big...
Every party has its pooper.
There is a big stinker in there. But that's okay. We'll get there. I just don't know what to say, though. A 9.
What 9.
2 9s from him.
9.
I'm so proud of you, Rob. I don't think you gave it... Oh, wait. You gave Pegasus a 9.
Did I?
Yeah.
I got to knock that one down.
No, you don't.
8.9.
That's the only 9 you've given. Or you've given you've given 3 9s so far.
And I think this is a lot better than any of those. So I have to look at
Better
those
than
grades.
Pegasus?
Yeah, by far.
that's
to me, by far.
gosh, that's a discussion for. I'm curious why that would be. Like, what the major? Because I don't feel like there's a huge tonal shift in these episodes than there is in the rest of the series, but they are.
What do you mean? I think
These are really well written episodes.
These are, but
great.
this seems like almost a complete,
Yeah,
almost a different show.
It's almost a reboot.
Right now, it does.
Yeah, it's almost a reboot.
Yeah, it's like a reboot within the show.
It was actually kind of functioning as that a little bit. Like
It's
not like that they felt like they were off the rails, but it was meant to be. You know, they knew they were only going to go 4 seasons or so, and they knew.
I'm not a huge
where they
fan
wanted
that
to
they
go.
jumped a year, but so far what they've done with since taking us over that and through that jump,
Yeah,
they've done really well with writing it. So I'm really not even thinking about it much.
What he said.
I want to make out with you, honestly.
Do it.
I've never noticed how
That's a Patreon.
beautiful your eyes are.
That's a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah. Will we get a band on YouTube? If
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't think
as long
so.
as there's no nudity.
We want people to pay for it though, because I'm a
That's
whore.
true. That's true.
That's true. Well, you can
Ellen.
find us on YouTube. though.
Ellen.
You can find
Oh,
us
yeah.
on YouTube.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
You can find us
Hey.
on the TikTok.
Hey, real quick, what
Yeah.
are we doing next week?
We're going to Comic-Con, ladies
Be
and
at
gentlemen.
Motor City Comic
Be at
Con.
Motor City Comic-Con. So be prepared for, we'll release some clips. I'm going to bring my phone. I got some of my microphones, my Bluetooth microphones as well.
I have a feeling we'll all have our phones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to interview some people. I'm going
I'll
to
have
talk to some
2.
people. We're
Yeah?
gonna,
Are you?
Yeah. I'm
See,
going
I don't like people that much. I'm glad you are.
to try to.
Yeah, we should.
So it's going to be a blast. We're going to have a good time. And
So we'll be there. Are we advertising
Friday.
when we're going to be there?
Friday, yeah.
So yeah, if you're in the Motor City, if you're in the Detroit area,
we'll be around hanging out swag.
we'll be there on Friday.
Be on the lookout for us, ladies and gents.
Yep.
But we're looking forward to seeing you. But in the meantime, leading up to Motor City Comic Con, tune into our YouTube page. Check us out on Keeping Up with the Cardassians on YouTube.
And check out Rob on Trekcast.
Check out Rob on Trekcast. Check out Joe, the active Twitter user. Give it up. I
Really?
saw that today.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I promoted you.
Oh, thank you.
Check
And I
that
promoted
out
some other
at Cardassians Pod on Twitter and TikTok. We're Keeping Up Cardassians. So, and
How come we're
Instagram keeping_up_Cardassians.
And don't forget Patreon.
Tick_talk.
yeah, go to all those places. But we're gonna do a Patreon exclusive after this, so join that too.
Do it. Support the show.
Do it. Make it so number 1.
With all, thank you to our patrons who are helping us get
Help
helping
us do things.
do things like go to Comic-Con and promote
Yes.
the show and all that stuff. It's
and
it
just for
helps.
liking us, because it's nice somebody
Yeah.
does.
and even if you don't subscribe on
about time
Patreon, thank you
someone
for
likes us.
listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Absolutely. Not everybody can do that. So I understand.
Oh, I feel no thanks for any of you.
No, I do.
I
None
just
of none of us.
Yeah,
oh,
you don't have-
them? You don't even
no one. I have utter contempt.
Oh, okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for keeping up with us.